G'day, Finru here. How you doing, everyone? Welcome along, Homebrew Wednesday on a Friday. It's the way we roll. Got a bit of a chat about this fabulous rock and roll album. I was going to say a record then. Well, it is a record, isn't it? We'll be talking about this album shortly. But first of all, just a quick update on the Tynesine Brown Ale. It finished at 10:12. I've had it crashing for, I think, 3 days now, so tomorrow I'll keg it, and that should be good. I'm still drinking that coal miners, or that miner's stout. Was very good. It's turned out after a couple of weeks away from it, it's rounded off and bodied up quite a bit, which is really, really good. So that's drinking very nicely. So that keg's about half full still. And so tomorrow I'll be filling that up, so I have both my kegs full. I might have to buy another keg, because I want to do another brew. I'm not actually I'm not 100% sure what I want to do. I might do a stout, I think. I don't know, I'm not sure. But today, I was fortunate enough the other day to go into Wigram Breweries. Now, they have given me a couple of bottles. I've already tasted this. They haven't got labels for it yet, but it'll be hitting the supermarkets very shortly. This is their Smoky Porter, and what they've done is they have taken, put their Smoky Porter into some Pinot Noir barrels and left it to age for a while in there, 6 months I think it was. And so they aged in there. So it was. So they've got a beer called a Smoky Porter, which is an award-winning beer. Here they are. Here, look, on the cover of In Pursuit of Happiness. Well done, Wigram. So what they've done, what we end up in the bottle is a 7.2%, half and half Smoky Porter, and the other half the Smoky Porter that had been put into a barrel. Does that make sense? So it's half and half. So I know the Smoky Porter well. Sometimes I think it's a little bit, maybe a too smoky for me sometimes. Other times I don't. But let's crack it open and give it a bit of a whirl. Wonderful flavours coming off that as I pour it. You see, I mean, that's great. Oh, so I'm getting and I actually tell you what, I didn't actually detect this the other day, but I actually think that I can taste a bit of that Pinot Noir in that. Oh, very subtly around the sides. And of course there's the smokiness from the smoky ale. But that really has changed that smoky porter quite a bit. And yes, that's really good. I can. The other day when I was trying it, they poured me a glass in the brewery. See what I thought. Compared the two, the Smoky Ace Porter. That's what it's called, Smoky Ace Porter, and the I don't actually know what they're going to call this. The this aged barrel Smoky Ace Porter, I guess you'd call it. And what I found with the two side by side was the Pinot Noir one was a lot more mellow, not so harsh on the smokiness. But I actually don't think that I can smell a bit of a. I'm not sure if I can smell a bit of a bourbon there. That oak barrel. But I probably can. Smokiness is quite prominent. Oh, that's fireside stuff, that is. Beautiful. So I think I'm getting a bit of that wine influence coming through, the Pinot Noir, in this Smoky Porter. There's certainly something going on there that I certainly wouldn't have detected in the Ace Smoky Porter. Here comes Baxter. Hey fella, how you doing? You alright? Okay, so let's just dive in. Let's dive in. Oh, it's wonderful. See, I'm picking up things I didn't pick up the other day. I've been drinking a few of Wigrams Mustang Pale Ale. And so this is very different than that. And sometimes it's quite good to go from one extreme to the next. Now, what did I taste there? There was something going on. Oh, look, I'd have to say... I would have to say that that Pinot Noir is coming through on the flavour, on the taste, on the palate, quite strong. On the nose, it was just very, very subtle, but I'm picking that. Oh, most definitely. I'm not a wine drinker, but I used to drink wine back in the day. And so for me, it was like, something's got to go. So it was the wine that went. I like whiskey and I like beer, so sometimes I'd have all three in one night and wake up worse for wear. So, but I can really actually taste that Pinot Noir coming through in this beautiful barrel aged porter. Oh, it is sticking out. I tell you what, it's sticking out like dog's balls. Certainly is. That is absolutely wonderful. What a beautiful beer. It's not. I'm not actually tasting it that cold. It's been sitting in the car for a week, and so today most of our days have been really chilly. So I would imagine that this is about. I would imagine this is about 8 degrees, 9 degrees Celsius. What a beautiful beer. So, ooh, it's wonderful. It really is nice. Get a look at that. So, I'm just going to say, yeah, we've done all that. So, what I've got is, sorry about that. So that's turned out at 10-12. So that'll be good. That'll be that's the Tyneside Brown with the honey ale in it. With the honey in it. Really, really good. It's finished actually quite high, considering it's got honey in it. I would have expected it to be a bit low. So I actually used the, if you remember, the harvested yeast from the kit beforehand, which was the just basically the kit yeast, which is I think is S33. And there's nothing wrong with that yeast. The beer that I was drinking out there, the stout, the cold miner stout, is wonderful. And that's going to be good. I'm looking forward to kegging that tomorrow and doing the thing. Now, what I want to... Oh, one other thing before I get onto the CD. I've finally updated the Wall of Fame. I call it the Wall of Fame, the Plaque of Fame. It's hard to actually see this with my sunnies on. Why do I wear sunnies all the time? Because I've got shocking looking eyes. Look like piss holes in the snow. So there we go. We've got the Beer Man there. We've got Hef's beer reviews down the bottom. We've got SJ Poor, and we've got I call him DTS David, and great reviews. And I'm going to put everyone that is on this board at the moment in the show notes at the bottom, and putting a link to their channel. So get over and have a look. I've been watching, apart from one or two possibly, but I've been watching these guys for years and years and years. So yeah, really, really good channels. Really rate them. Great brewers and great guys. So yeah, so cheers. So the board's looking really good. Yeah, there's been a bit of overlap going on, so so there we are. The Wall of Fame is developing. I've been listening to of late, the last 3 weeks, I suppose. I have a lot of music to listen to. Well, I'm going to pay for that. That's nice. An album sent to me from a fellow brew tuber and friend, Skid Baxter, whose real name is Vinny Salvatore. So what happened was, I've been listening to this album because he sent me a lot of albums, different albums that he's sort of played on, which was wonderful of him. And of course, I don't play everything all at once. I like to sort of put an album on and then listen to it for quite a while and go back to it, listen to it for quite a while and go back, and then go on to the next one. I'm kind of stuck on this one at the moment because it's really, it ticks all the boxes for me as far as sort of swampy, sort of rock and roll, gritty, sort of stuff. Thinking, I don't know, swamp rock, ZZ Top, AC/DC, just but with lots of grit. So I've been on this, and I thought I might like to do a bit of a review on it and leave a link to the Spodify for Spotify, so you guys can have a listen to it because I'm sure that you'd really enjoy it. So what we've got on this album is we've got this is the Godz, and I can remember when I was about 15. I think I might have told you this story before. Baxter, where you go? When I was 15, I had this magazine, this rock and roll magazine, because we didn't have internet or anything like that, and it had a big poster in the middle about the Godz and Angel. And the following week, when I was in a music store, a record shop, the Angels album was there. There was no Godz album there, but there might as well have been. And so I grabbed the Angels album and took it home, and it was a really good album. I like it's called White Hot. Good album. And always remember that band. Never heard them, never played them, never saw their album. I did see their album once, the first album, in a record shop. Didn't grab it. Wish I had. I will get it at some point. And anyway, years down the track, I was 15 then, I'm 60 now, a fellow brew tuber, Skid Baxter played on the Godz last album. I think that's a bit bizarre, don't you? Talk about a small world. But anyway, that's little bit of history that I had with the Godz, just that connection back there. And then with brew tubing on YouTube, many, many, many years later, I hook up with a guy that played guitar on the album, on the last album. So Eric Moore, bass, guitars, vocals, Steve DiMatteo, guitars and vocals, Vinny Salvatore, guitars, bass, vocals, Scott A. Martin, guitars, vocals, and Terry Evans on drums. Also, who I need to mention here really is as well is Keith Blair keyboards, Craig Wright harmonica, and Stu Diamond bagpipes. Those guys add some nice touches to this album, I think. So we kick off with the album with a song that Born at the Wrong Time. It's kind of a status quo chugging slide guitar shuffle, and the guitar slide guitars in it sound really, really good. That the raspy voice is very much like in Nazareth, the guy who sang in Nazareth. It's got that. I mean, it could have appeared on a Nazareth album. Seriously, it's and gritty. It's a well recorded album, but gritty it is. Last of the Outlaws is an R&B sort of stomping swamp rock, if you like. Stomps along. It's got some nice piano parts in it. Reaction is kind of, when I first listened to it, I thought that sounds a bit like, what does that sound? An AC/DC song. It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. But actually, it kind of has that feel. But as the song kind of develops and the chorus develops, then what you find is its own enigma. It's its own song. It's its own essence. And it chugs along nicely. It's got a really good chorus line. Funny thing about a long way is I've got a rock and roll reaction that reminded me of that. And Ever Loving Chains actually has bagpipes in it, like Long Way to the Head. So I kind of, you get the kind of feeling that I don't know what they were thinking, but I mean I love it. It's so subtly done and so well done, and works so well. The bagpipes in Ever Loving Chains is really good. It's an anthem, that song. It's a sing-along anthem, foot stomper. Deliverance is a bit of a how. Now, and I love that sort of thing, and it's what you probably call swampy sort of, that sort of swampy. I don't know. I kind of get that kind of what I used to play blues and stuff. People talk about that swampy stuff. It's that laid back, gritty kind of feel, that sort of stomping swamp. And whoever's doing the vocals, and I would say it's Eric Moore doing. I don't know, but it sounds like Wolfman Jack. You remember the DJ in America? Was it American Top 40 or something? And was he in American Graffiti the movie? And the soundtrack, Wolfman Jack. I tell you what, boy, I got things on the locomotion. I can't do it. I still like the smell of gasoline. It's that sort of stuff, you know. Really, really good. Really great listening. Great fun to listen to. Really authentic American gritty, swampy rock. This time, track number 6 is a great song, a great track. Show and Tell. Now, Show and Tell was written by our friend, Skid Baxter, and Steve DiMatteo. So, of course, it's Vinny Salvador is Skid Baxter. So he got the writing credits of this, and so he should, because I tell you what, it's a cracker of a song. Really well written song, and it trucks along really nicely. I mean, it's an anthem in itself. Nice guitars, nice, what do you call it, on the snare, a rocking ahead on the snare. Really good, really like it. Great lyrics, fun to listen to, and you can really do a bit of the old air guitar to that song. Well done there, Vinny. Cracker tune. Who's to Blame? It's kind of like a Stones ballad. Who's to Blame is number 8. It's kind of like I sort of think you could see Jagger, Woods, and the other fella. I can see them all, just sort of jamming away to this and loving it. Probably would go well on a. Probably go quite well on a Keith Richards. That's the guy I was thinking about. Keith Richards' album be really good. It's a Stones ballad through and through, in my opinion. And I'm loving it. It's really good. Just at the end of the album, it just sort of does that, and then it kicks off again with Into the Wind, which is just a great rocking tune, and takes us out with a lot of guitar solos, and to finish. So, what a great album. Released 9 tracks, released in 2012 by Extremely Limited Recordings, supported by BMI. There's the boys on the back, and there's our mate Skid there. Where is he? There, over there, looking mean. All the boys are looking cool. So a great album. I'll put the link to that along with the links to the other brew tubers that are on my wall of fame, and go ahead and have a listen to this album. It's really, really good, and go and check out those guys. So, that was a big update. So, cheers. I'm really enjoying this Pinot Noir Barrel Age by Wigram Brewery, Christchurch. It'll be out in the shops ASAP. As soon as I get some labels put on those bottles and getting put out, I tell you what, she's a cracker. Really, 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 really good beer. And if you see Pursuit of Hoppiness, grab a copy and have a bit of a read about them. Cheers, everyone. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you want to come along. So cheers. Take care.